Good evening and thank you for joining us. The infamous trailer hitch incident will be heading to trial.
Today at the Thunder Bay Courthouse, a judge announced that 20-year-old Braden Bushby will have to stand trial for the second-degree murder in the death of 34-year-old Barbara Kentner. In a packed courtroom filled with friends and family of both the victim and the accused, Justice Frank Valenti handed down his ruling, saying there is sufficient evidence for the case against Bushby to go to trial. The incident happened on the night of January 28, 2017, when Kentner was struck by a metal trailer hitch allegedly thrown from a passing vehicle. Kentner suffered internal injuries and died in hospital 5 months later. Bushby was originally charged with aggravated assault, but the charge was later upgraded to second-degree murder after months of deliberation by the Crown's office. Bushby was present in court today and was emotionless when the ruling was delivered. He's currently free on bail, and there is no word on when the trial will be held.
The Thunder Bay Crown Attorney's Office has withdrawn a charge of manslaughter against 43-year-old Armand Cummings in connection to the 2016 death of 35-year-old Manny Spence. A 5-day-long trial against Cummings was set to start today, but in court this morning, the Crown told the judge he was withdrawing the charge after he found there was no reasonable prospect for conviction. A preliminary hearing was held last February, and after hearing from 15 witnesses, the judge ruled there was sufficient evidence to move the manslaughter case to trial. Spence's body was found on September 15, 2016, in a compound near the corner of Wilson and Court Streets. City police later arrested Cummings. He is still facing an aggravated assault charge from a separate incident that took place on West Arthur Street on October 2018. He remains in custody on that charge.
Thunder Bay police are looking for help from the public in identifying a suspect in the latest armed robbery in the city. It happened last night at SCAF's Just Basic store on Hodder Avenue. Police say at about 10 o'clock, a masked man entered the store, pulled out a handgun, and demanded cash. The thief was unsuccessful and fled the store empty-handed. Police arrived on the scene and searched the area, but the suspect could not be located. No one was injured in the incident. The man is described as being a white male standing 5'9" with a thin build. He was wearing tan-colored lace-up high-top shoes, gray jogging pants, a black winter jacket, and a red trapper-style hat with fur trim. Anyone with information is being asked to call Thunder Bay Police.
2 men have now been apprehended in connection with an assault in Ware Township. OPP say they've charged a 36-year-old and a 31-year-old with aggravated assault following an incident last Wednesday in which the victim suffered serious injuries. Police have declined to officially release any details on the nature of the assault.
Thunder Bay City Council is in the middle of a tough budget process in which they're trying to find more than $3 million in savings. As a result, councillors will likely appreciate the light agenda at tonight's regular council meeting. Ryan Bonazzo explains what's on the docket.
There will be fireworks, but likely not in the way you'd think. Councillor Shelby Chung wants to add the Lunar or Chinese New Year to the list of holidays on which people are allowed to celebrate by setting them off. This year's Chinese New Year falls on Tuesday, February 5th. Chung notes that while there's a long tradition of fireworks to celebrate the Chinese New Year worldwide, it's currently not included on Thunder Bay's list of fireworks-approved holidays. She insists in a city that prides itself on diversity and welcomes the celebration of all cultures, this should change, and she's asking council to amend the fireworks bylaw. Also of note, on Monday, Dease Pool supporters will be at City Hall a half hour before the meeting for a rally in the lobby. The group wants Councillor Andrew Folds, who was the only one who voted to keep the pool open, to meet with some kids who swim there in the summertime. Rally organizers also hope to gather more signatures on a petition that is said to already contain more than 2,000 names. Ryan Bonazzo, TVT News.
A bid to stop the construction of a 6-story apartment building near McVicker Creek has failed. Ontario's local planning appeal tribunal has dismissed an application to overturn a zoning change approved by City Council last year. In February of 2018, developer Ryan Jones was at City Hall seeking a bylaw amendment to allow him to erect a 17-unit structure on Nugent Street, where a century-old home had been demolished. Some residents of the area expressed concern about the impact the project will have on the availability of on-street parking. City planning staff supported the development and council approved it. One resident then appealed the zoning change to the planning tribunal. The tribunal's decision, issued earlier this month, stated that it is satisfied the project conforms with provincial and city planning objectives and would not cause any demonstrable adverse impacts on the surrounding area. There's no information yet on whether the construction will begin this year.
Extreme cold temperatures left local high school and elementary students looking for alternate modes of transportation this morning, and one Catholic school was forced to close its doors altogether due to a lack of heat in the building. St. Elizabeth School on South Selkirk Street closed for the day due to a power failure affecting one of the two boilers in the school. Power was restored just before the noon hour, with heat returning early this afternoon, and classes are set to resume tomorrow. Meanwhile, all other schools within the city limits remained open this morning, but were left without school busing. The Student Transportation Services of Thunder Bay canceled the routes once the wind chill fell below -40 at around 6 a.m. Bus services resumed this afternoon to help bring the kids home from school. 5 rural schools were closed for the day.
The Thunder Bay District Health Unit is looking to make changes towards their Dine Wise program and have their food safety grading system available online. The grading system was implemented 2 years ago and covers areas such as food temperatures and sanitized equipment. Each business which serves food is given a grade between A and D to display for the public. As of the latest data, around 90% were given the top rating of A, and that top rating has seen a steady increase since 2017. Testing varies between restaurants depending on their risk levels, with inspections from once a year to above 6. The revisions will bring the program in line with recent amendments to the Ontario Food Premises Regulation. Health unit officials say an online portal will be implemented sometime in the coming months.
The community of Red Rock is a dry town right now, but not by choice. Last year, the LCBO announced it was closing its store temporarily. Instead, the outlet is now gone permanently, and that abrupt decision has many in the town upset over a lack of consultation about the closure and the repercussions the move has had. Adam Riley reports.
We've got big concerns. You know, it hasn't been a couple of months. It's been close to 7 months we've been without an LCBO store here in Red Rock.
There is a big hole in Red Rock's downtown left after the sudden departure of the LCBO. The store was closed last summer to address structural issues, with all signs leading residents and town officials like Red Rock Mayor Gary Nelson to believe it would only be temporary. But Nelson says he had a bad feeling when he saw mounting evidence of a pullout.
They were emptying the store out. Then they were emptying the basement out. They told me, no, it's just temporary till the building gets fixed. But it went down anyways.
Nelson says he believes the permanent closure and demolition of the building was the LCBO's plan all along. A sign posted at the former site gives residents the location of the nearest LCBO, 20 kilometers away in Nipigon.
Not everybody drives, so not everybody can go to Nipigon to get whatever they want.
2 doors down the street from the former LCBO is Saunders Foodland. Owner Dan Saunders says when the store closed, he contacted the LCBO for options. Now he and another business owner have petitioned the LCBO to allow them to sell liquor.
It'll eventually go to, it has to actually go to the Ministry of Finance and be approved as warranted to be in town. So we've been patiently waiting since.
Saunders says larger grocery outlets like Safeway, Sobeys and Metro are selling alcohol, and with tourism and annual festivals like the Live from the Rock Folk Festival just around the corner, he feels it's a way to help boost the local economy further.
It's an opportunity for us to keep our customers in town and give them a service that they need and want.
The LCBO released a statement on the closure. The agency says at the time of the closure, we investigated alternatives, but there weren't any suitable move-in ready options available. Also at present, there are no plans to expand the agency store program. We encourage residents in the community to visit the LCBO location in neighboring Nipigon or to shop online at lcbo.com. In the meantime, Nelson says he and many others in the community are not going to give up the fight.
We need an LCBO store back here in Red Rock, and we're going to work hard at getting the darn thing here.
Adam Riley, TBT News.
A group of Ontario doctors is challenging a court ruling that requires doctors to give referrals for services that clash with their moral or religious beliefs. 5 doctors and 3 professional organizations are appealing a divisional court decision in a case that began in Toronto today. Last year, the court determined that forcing physicians to refer patients for treatments or services that they object to, such as assisted dying, contraception, or abortion, does limit their religious freedom. But the court ruled the breach is justified and that the benefits to the public outweigh the cost to doctors.
It's an effort to instill the value of culture and family into children's programming. And today, the Thunder Bay Indigenous Friendship Center opened another Early On Child and Family Center. Ben Nesbitt has that story.
Several supporters were on hand as the Thunder Bay Indigenous Friendship Center launched the Wabagone Early On Child and Family Center inside one of the classrooms at Vance Chapman Public School. The site will provide free, culturally inspired programs to help support parents, caregivers, and their children from birth to 6 years of age. Executive Director Charlene Baglin says these types of programs are crucial for the development of Indigenous youth.
You need to understand and know your culture, know your background, know your roots, know where you come from to be able to express yourself in a healthy way. Children need an opportunity to learn learn about themselves, and if we as parents and caregivers, aunties and uncles can share that with them, they have a much better understanding of who they are.
Wabagone is the 5th Early On Child and Family Center to open up in Thunder Bay. Jen Sylvester has been bringing her daughter Alora to centers like this since she was born and says she appreciates what the program does for them.
I love that it's culturally driven, like it's aimed at what I'm trying to teach her. We love Karen, the educator that's going to be running this program. Alora's grown really attached to her, so it's a beautiful place to be. There's trees and plants and animals, and we love it.
Wabagone will offer drop-in programs and services available to families and their children throughout the week, including evening opportunities. The site also offers playgroups, parent workshops, land-based activities, and pre- and postnatal programming. Ben Nesbitt, TBT News.
The Thunder Bay Art Gallery's most recent acquisition is now on display. A large-scale sculptural installation by Frank Shebegaget is called Cell. The piece is made up of fishing nets and hooks, as well as aluminum rods. The gallery decided to purchase the piece after it won the 2018 York Wilson Endowment Award from the Canada Council for the Arts. Shebegaget spoke on what it represents.
So this work kind of talks about my father, he was a hunting fishing guide later in his life. So the hunting fishing culture is kind of wanted to play around with that idea. And then a lot of my work is material based. So it's kind of focusing on a material and trying to create something using that material.
Our mission and mandate is to collect and exhibit work by Indigenous artists as well as artists living and working in Northwestern Ontario. So this piece contributes in such a significant way.
The piece will be on display until March 3rd.
Well, Fiona,